So, here we go. Uh-oh. Shit's gone wrong!
Shit's gone wrong!
Shit's gone wrong! Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, Casting Magic. Thank you so much for joining us for this awesome live broadcast. We've been discussing nothing really. Keith and I have been discussing nothing.
Nothing we can say on a regular broadcast.
Nothing of great import.
Right.
Our first initial news of the day, I have shaved my mustache, and I'm very happy about this. I am very excited to be without a mustache for the first time in like 4 months. But you guys didn't need to know that.
That'll bring up the views.
As well it should. So tonight, we've decided that we are going to finally do our Nyar live commentary. So that's what we're here to do today. And of course, as always, we would encourage everybody to ask questions about the movie, and we can share stories with you as we're watching it or afterwards. We'll probably go for a little bit longer today than usual. And if you see me like flailing wildly at any point in time, it's because there's like one gnat in my apartment that keeps hovering in this general area, and he likes to land right on my forehead. And I just saw him just now like fly by.
Yes, that's what it is exactly. It's not the demons trying to get you, Ryan. Never the demon.
No, it's not the demons. It's not the demons, sir. But yeah, pretty excited to do the Nyar commentary. I wanted to save this one for last, primarily just because it was our first big, I guess, budget-based movie where we actually had money to spend on it. And it turned out really, really well. And it saddens me that it still has such few views.
Yeah.
After 3 years of being active on Facebook. Or on YouTube, excuse me.
Well, that's the online community for you.
Yes.
They just don't give a shit.
Because who wants to watch free entertainment?
Right. Now, they'd rather watch videos of stoners play video games, which is what I usually watch.
I was going to say, you're not helping your case very much, because that's literally all you watch. You just got done telling me the story of how you were watching two best friends play Resident Evil 5.
It was funny, because it took half an hour of the video for them to figure out how to get the co-op to work. That shit's funny, yo. But still, watch our videos. They're entertaining.
Yes, definitely watch our videos. I'm going to go ahead and do this right off the bat, first thing. As usual, we could always use people's help to help keep the channel going strong and to help us make new projects. We have a new project coming up here very soon, and we'll probably I might be doing a separate fundraiser for that. However, in the meantime, you can always visit our Patreon page, Magic Time Films. You can subscribe for as little as $1. You can see we have like 9 patrons right now. We're up to $48 a month. And we have goals. If we reach these goals, then we can accomplish these set tasks.
This fundraising has worked so good for us in the past.
Yes.
Case in point, the Bone Jangles 2 Indiegogo, which failed. We couldn't even get $2,000 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Failed. But I'm not bitter about that.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
We're still making that goddamn movie. No thanks to everybody out there. Except for people who did donate. Thanks a lot. I love you all.
And of course, the actual the web address to our Patreon is scrolling right across the bottom of the screen here, so you guys can go to that at any time you want to check it out. And of course, our Magic Time Films YouTube channel itself. Definitely go and check that out whenever you get a chance. Subscribe to the channel. Share it, because sharing is caring, and sharing is how people discover shit. But without
Not
further
even
ado,
$2,000. I can't emphasize
oh my
that
god,
enough.
listen to this guy.
I mean, I wasn't expecting the full 80K, but I don't know, 5K. That would have shown people cared. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, except for those people, those wonderful people who did donate.
Those wonderful, wonderful people
Wonderful
who
people.
did.
Everybody else can eat a bag of dicks.
Hi, Patty.
Those people, they're the best.
We're just gearing up right now to do our thing. Oh dear. I gotta stop that.
And Ryan fucked something up again.
Shot it. I got this.
Yeah, you do.
I got this.
Famous last words. I got this. Tombstone, he didn't get it.
He didn't get it. This.
Famous last words. I got it.
Oh. Cry louder, Keith, is what Jamie says. Maybe you'll get somebody to pay to shut you up.
Wow, that's great. You couldn't spend money on the fucking campaign, but no, pay me money to shut up. That's awesome. That's great.
Jamie's jabbing at you.
Yeah, well, poke the bear too much. Bear might poke back. I don't know how that phrase goes.
No, you don't. So here we go, kids. Nyar. It's... She sends kissy faces to you.
No, okay, that makes it all better, man. Emojis save everything.
Kristen says, hey, can you screenshot a giant red circle around the pathway to subscribe for monthly donations? I couldn't find this last podcast. Well, let me see here if I can actually... Just where it says become a patron, right up here in the top corner. That's all you should have to click on right there. And that should walk you through the process, I believe. But yeah, you click on become a patron and then it'll walk you through it. I like to think I'm a smart broad, but I couldn't see the recurring subscription sign up you were talking about. You are a smart broad, Kristen. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Kristen, by the way, is our awesome super fan. I don't know if you guys saw that, but we posted a picture of her wearing our Magic Time Films t-shirt. That she actually turned it really awesome. She cut off the sleeves and made it like an actual like comfortable shirt. Because I don't think they give those options when designing certain things.
Do you want it comfortable or do you want it cheap? Well, cheap, obviously.
Well, cheap, of course. Of course. Anna Miller, thank you for watching. She's watching on my personal page. We are getting ready to do the Nyar live commentaries. If you've never seen this movie before, probably, well, I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say go ahead and watch it with us. I was just going to suggest you should probably go and watch it without us doing the commentary first, but what the hell, why not? If this is your first time seeing it, then so be it. I do hope you enjoy. And yet another iteration of the Magic Time Films logo.
Someday you'll find a logo you like.
Someday I will find it. This was one of my favorite logos, though. I liked that one.
I didn't mind. It was alright.
That was what I call the sci-fi series.
I call it, this is almost Universal Studios. Not quite.
The almost Universal Studios. I like that, yes. Well, like the one that's on the t-shirt, the Kristen got, that's what I call the horror movie series.
Right.
And do please excuse the not so great picture quality, as this is trying to broadcast like 3 different ways all at once. But I digress. Hello, Kate. Welcome to the show. That's not Gino.
Sorry.
I feel like I should be commenting on the one that's actually... I have it like on 2 screens right now.
Yeah. I think mine's a couple seconds behind yours, but whatever.
Whatever. Alexa Severson. She's now the poster model for the Buffalo Chip
Yeah.
this year for the Sturgis Rally. Congrats, Alexa. There's Keith Melcher, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Right there.
Hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah. Vision of the future. I mean, that's me in the movie.
Oh.
We'll talk about the scene afterwards.
Yes. There's a whole story to that. So, one of the other things that I highly recommend when you finally watch this movie without us blabbering over top of it would be to make sure and watch it with really good sound. Because the sound design in this movie was so freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Yellen out of Vancouver did the sound design for this movie.
I won't
So
vote
good.
against him that he's Canadian.
Well, Simon Miminis, he's the one who did the score, and he is also Canadian. I believe I want to say he is out of... Oh, where was he at? I don't think he's out of Vancouver. But that's not important.
To some people, it's not. Anyway.
What's important right now is Hannah washing her face after having a nightmare. So this was kind of fun when we were doing this scene, torturing the actors by letting them know that if she got water on the lights, because they're really big lights, and if you've ever worked with professional lights on a film set before, you know that they get extremely hot. And so if you splash cold water on them, they can and will explode.
Morning.
So we made sure to inform Hannah of this before she went to go splash the water on her face.
Nightmares.
You could see it in her face. She's being real careful not to get water.
Yeah.
See somebody about this.
They're just dreams.
90% of Gino's dialogue in this scene is 80
It's
yard.
nothing. Won't be
Yeah.
like that this time.
I don't remember why.
I know you've been
I
going
can't
for
remember
a
if it was
while.
just too low and I couldn't boost the audio.
That might have been. The audio, you had difficulties with the audio for the whole shoot.
I had a lot of difficulties. I explained this the last time with the audio. Hi, Tambi. Welcome to the live stream where we're doing a commentary on Nyar. If you haven't seen it yet, now's your chance.
Call Dr. Matt.
Please,
Dr.
the
Madner,
last
that's a
person
Metal
you
Gear
want
reference.
I want to talk to is your mother's psycho doctor. Whatever.
I can't help but wonder if you actually know that.
I don't.
I do because you told me that multiple fucking times. That's a Metal Gear reference.
Better reason to get
Like every time.
I gotta go.
Jesse, how are you?
I can't be late for this meeting. Promise me you'll call someone.
I will.
I might be late for supper.
Again?
Look, if this deal goes through, and I'm confident that it will, the big wigs are gonna want to take us out for a couple drinks afterwards.
Yeah, every time I watch this movie, I actually love Hannah's performance more and more.
Yeah, she did a really good job.
Ow.
Everybody did, except for the guy who plays Nyar. I guess so.
Yeah, whatever. Keith's just bitter.
Yeah, and apparently I cry too much, so I'm just gonna shut my fucking mouth. and watch the movie. It's not my future at stake or anything. Nah, it's fine. Nah, I'll watch your YouTube videos.
Kristen says it was hard to find an orange-based red lipstick to match that logo on the t-shirt. I didn't realize it was orange. I thought it was supposed to be like a really bright red. Now I might have to get on their case.
Or you're colorblind.
Or that. I'm going to go with them.
It's always somebody else's fault, isn't it, Ryan?
Yes. And I totally just now, like, if you watched close enough, you can actually see the receiver
Help you with something?
for the microphone
Oh, yeah?
bulging out of Hannah's hands.
Really? I guess I never noticed. I know there's something else that pops up here. And that
What? What?
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I remember when we were at the festival and we were screening it, and the slate popped up, and you just turned to me, what the fuck?
Well, you know, I wasn't expecting to see a giant digital slate pop up on the 60-foot screen.
I wasn't either. I thought, well, maybe I'll just see anything, and then you saw it too. So obviously,
Yeah, no, that was there. That was almost like the Tyler Durden moment.
yeah.
Except instead of porn, it was the slate.
Yep.
Do you fear me?
I don't know what would have been worse, the giant slate or a giant penis.
I know you
Penis.
Probably the penis, yeah.
Always penis.
Always penis,
do.
yes.
I am the living embodiment.
So you could have been like a swan deuce when I went in the Q&A afterwards. Well, it shows that reality is fracturing and alternate dimensions. A movie within a
Well,
movie.
that's been my explanation all this time. I mean,
Yeah,
duh.
It works.
Kristen says Keith has the best sense of humor.
Oh, thank you.
Stab. Oh, there's like a huge delay. Like I'm watching it on
Hey, Maggie.
Yeah.
So,
mine. It was like a good 5-6 seconds of video there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, sorry.
Everybody thought the bathtub was weird until we actually did it.
Yeah, I think it works. I like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I thought it turned out great. I remember, I think Hannah and Alexa were kind of like, really, in the bathtub.
Still smell his breath. Gross.
And you can't see me here, but I'm up the side on the turlet recording their dialogue.
On the turlet.
On the turlet.
Yes.
So that was pretty fucking good. I'm falling apart. We're all falling apart.
There's actually an extended version of this scene that maybe one of these days I'll actually reveal.
Director's cut.
I have thought about it. There's a couple of different sequences that got cut out.
Yeah, I remember a couple, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there is one here, a huge portion, a huge chunk of this conversation. Hannah had like a big monologue that got cut out.
Yeah.
And then earlier, before Nyar attacks her, but after she cuts her finger, she actually had to go answer the door another time, and there was nobody there.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was
Thanks.
one other.
I'm gonna head in the mall and check out some seats.
Oh, what was it?
No, thanks. I think I'd rather rest for a bit.
Oh, I don't remember what it is now. I know there's at least one other big portion that got cut out, but I don't remember what it was.
I thought there wasn't there a scene where it was Hannah and Gino were in bed and then we see a shadow like move across them. Did we actually film that, or is that just...
Yeah, that was filmed.
Really?
That was filmed. I do remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
And of course, we cut out the original ending where Nick Fury shows up to recruit her for the Avengers Initiative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was. Let's make sure you guys do a little shout out over here to let us know if you're watching. Let us know if you have any questions about the movie so far. This is the best part to watch with the good sound.
Mm-hmm.
Brandy's now watching. Hello, Brandy.
Hi, Brandy.
Miss Brandy Duval. Patty, I'm just noticing the color scheme. Well, do you like it? Does it suit your fancy? I definitely, we went with kind of a lot of blues. In post-production, that's kind of how I color corrected it. Or graded it, I should say. I guess it's kind of bothering me that I don't remember what that other sequence is that got cut out.
Yeah, well,
Like, that's all I can think about now.
don't ask me. You know my memories for shit.
Was the hesitation with her fixation on her blood relevant to her storyline? Yes. The general idea was that Maggie, the character, goes into these little trances, and I think she was actually supposed to have another trance at one point in time. But she has one shortly after this with her little encounter with herself. When she gets to the bottom of the stairs, she goes into a trance-like state. In the original script, there was like 3 or 4 different trances. Like, there was actually a lot cut out script-wise too. Like, there was a huge dialogue between Maggie and her husband at one point, just before shit hits the fan. And that I sat down with Tristan, our cinematographer, after we got done shooting on, I want to say, the second or third night, and then I was like, we're not going to be able to film all this in 5 days. So I just kind of really quickly went through the script and I'm like, well, this can go, and then this can go, and we just like this huge dialogue that I would have liked to have had it, but it wasn't cut out for any other purpose other than time. We just did not have time to film everything that I wanted to film.
So we shot all this in 5 days?
Yeah.
Huh. I'll be down.
I think it was slightly less than 5 days.
Yeah. I wasn't there for the whole shoot, but I was there for maybe 3 days ago.
Yeah. Patty asks, is it hard to edit yourself? You mean like
Sound like she's suspecting
editing myself as in me?
So,
Or
no, everything has to stay in.
is it
So good.
or do you mean like
maybe.
like forcing yourself to edit something that you don't necessarily want to? I'm gonna go with editing something you don't necessarily want to edit. In cutting out script scenes, yes, that's kind of what I figured you meant. It's not, well, I mean, it can be. It's a lot easier when you're on set and you're 3 days into production like we were, and I was like all of a sudden realizing that we weren't going to be able to do it all.
Maggie?
So it became kind of a last minute decision, so I didn't really have time to think about it or to dwell on whether or not I should or shouldn't. I just knew that I had to, so I went ahead and did it. And as far as the rest of the movie goes, a lot of the editing gets done. I tend to edit on the script level first. I like to make sure it's as tight as humanly possible so that when we get down to shooting, we're only filming what's necessary. That's not to say that there aren't, that we don't film things that, shouldn't be cut or that do get cut or anything like that. But there's a lot of times when we'll film something and I'll just be like, well, it doesn't work without it. And that's kind of it, is getting to a point in the script where I can say, oh, this was the other segment. There was a huge segment of Nyar.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, where he's like shouting and egging her on. Yeah, it's like, kill that motherfucker.
I remember that scene.
Yes, I lost my voice doing this. Anyway, but the editing thing, yeah, it can be hard. It's not so bad though. But like I said, I do like to edit on the script level first to try and cut it down as much as possible so that we're only filming what's necessary. Kristen says, I want to know the other side. Do you find yourself overcritical of yourself than other characters you edit? Yeah, probably. I'm not a big fan of watching myself.
I'm not a big fan of watching you either.
That's because you're an asshole.
I am.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
I'm so sorry.
it's easy to be overcritical of yourself because you start to notice little tiny things that you've done that you don't like. But then, I still have to make a movie in the end, and so I can't can't just cut myself out because I don't like what I'm looking at.
I begged you to, but you just keep on saying no.
Yes.
I'm the title character of the movie. Would make no sense.
It would literally defeat the entire purpose of the movie, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Tyler, Jeremy's still watching. Thank you for letting us know, Jeremy. Fun fact, she just jumped from the stairs.
Yes.
We actually, for her hanging, that was me and Tristan holding her up from above.
Yeah. Because the other way to hang somebody didn't work out very well, did it, Ryan? We'll get into that after the movie.
Yeah.
No! No! What have you done to me?
On the script level, too, this scene was a little more complex.
No, I should be dead.
There was actually a whole sequence where Nyar was supposed to be dancing with her corpse.
The book
That's right.
open for you. Shame. You had so much potential.
I still have that book.
Yeah, my friend Vanessa made that book.
Yep.
I want to go back. Let me go back.
I still have the entire outfit, actually.
So beautifully.
No.
I
Yes.
almost want to give you what
You put it on and act in front of the mirror with it on, don't you, Ryan?
Only on days when I'm lonely.
Oh, I won't argue with that.
Okay.
Which is every day.
Every day that ends in Y.
Every day that ends in
I
Y.
never even had it coming.
You said
I love. You can't even tell. I was actually wearing contacts through this entire production. Colored contacts.
no.
They were supposed to make my eyes look more alien.
No.
And you
that's
can't
not what
see them at
happened.
all.
That's not what I
And
said.
for the hell that I went through to get them in,
Stars will burn out long before you take
I was
them
so
up.
very disappointed that you can never actually see my eyes.
Well, one must suffer for their art.
Yes.
And suffer you did.
Kristen says, sounds like it's a tougher balance to play a leading role and edit. I think it can be. I don't think it's particularly hard, honestly. As long as you just kind of stick to the script and stick to the plan. And then she goes on to say, on a best estimate, how much of the original script was edited out? The original script probably went through, I would say, 6 or 7 different drafts before I finally settled on what would have been the final draft of the script, the one that we actually filmed. And from the original script, I want to say, I would say at least 80% of the original script still got filmed. Not necessarily all of it got in the movie, like I mentioned. Some of that got edited in post, while some of it got edited before we ever got to film it.
Yeah.
Of that, I would say 80% actually got filmed.
Yeah. But the story you wanted to tell, the
story was there.
Yeah.
The story was there. Did I spell anybody's names wrong in this one?
Yes, you spelled Vanessa's wrong.
Did I?
I believe so.
I thought I corrected it.
I don't know. We'll see.
God damn it.
Yeah, you spelled it Venessa, where it's Vanessa.
Damn it!
Because that's not how you spell Vanessa ever. Maybe in your weird little.
Hey, you know what?
Lovecraftian
If
world
you want to
live in,
start
that's
doing
how
these
they spell it,
credits,
but-
you're more than welcome to do so.
Yeah. That movie's. It's done.
It's too late.
Yeah, you ever release a director's cut, then we'll correct it. But
Yes. And one of these days, I might.
I'm sure she doesn't give a shit. I'm sure she's never even watched it. So
It's
there
very
you go.
possible.
Yeah.
It's very, very possible.
So let's talk about the proper way to hang a person in the movie, Ryan.
I don't know if I feel comfortable discussing this with you, sir.
Well, You can just stay quiet then while I tell people how you almost murdered your best friend.
Yes.
See, he said before when we hanged Hannah, him and Tristan just lifted her up and then she just jumped down. They did it that way because when they had to film my hanging scene, we had a harness and a noose, and they actually lifted me up, and the harness that was around my legs was too tight, so it made me pass out, and then I had the noose around my neck, so it started choking me a little bit, and nobody knew what was happening until I started making noises like this.
You know, to be fair, that doesn't even do it justice because the sound that you actually made was so horrendous. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but in your credit, you saved my life.
You goddamn right I did.
After you almost killed me.
That's what happens when you're best buds. You stick your
One
head
of
in your
them-
buddy's crotch to save his life.
Yeah, because inevitably one of them is going to try to kill the other one at some point. And then you get a face full of melter crotch for your trouble,
Yes.
so.
Yes. Nothing better than having Keith Melcher's nutsack on the back of my neck. It was great. It was pretty awesome. Things got
Oh,
kind
if I
of
had a
awkward.
nickel every time I've heard that. I'd have a nickel.
I'd have a nickel. All of 5 cents. Yes. Oh, wow. So yeah, that was Nyar. That was, to this day, probably the most straightforward shoot we've done.
Yeah.
I guess.
We were able to do it all in the time that we allotted.
Yeah, we did the whole
Yeah.
thing in one straight shot.
Yeah, yeah.
All 5 days. We started on a Monday, and I think we filmed a little bit that Friday,
Yeah,
and then that was a wrap.
yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot that we had to film that day.
No,
I think we had to film at night, is what it was.
that could have been, yeah.
There were quite a few late nights on that one.
Yeah.
Mostly because the entire movie takes place at night, so we kind of had to. One of my, I don't know if I'd call this a favorite memory, but one of my memories from that production was the fire alarms.
Those goddamn fog machines.
Fucking fog machines, man. Every time.
Bane of my existence.
Yeah, everybody in film's existence. So we had this fog machine, which actually burnt out on us at one point. Like the element or whatever melted, and then we were forced to have to use my fog machine, which was just some cheap Halloween one that I bought from Walmart.
Mm.
And the fog machine, every time we would use the fog machine, within seconds, one of the fire alarms in this house, this old house, would go off. And the ceilings are like 15 feet high. So nobody can just reach up and turn them off. You had people that got brooms trying to hit that little button. I think at one point we did the illegal thing and just took them apart before we put them back together before we left when we were done filming. But we got so tired of them, we finally just pulled them and like pulled the battery or whatever. And
Yeah.
I think at one point we just like wrapped them in some of them, not all of them, but we like wrapped them in plastic bags or whatever because we just could not get them to cooperate with us at all. And it was a daily battle with those things.
Every major shoot I've been on, we've had a problem with the fog machine setting smoke alarms off. This one, Larry and the Monsters and Bone Jaggers, we had a problem with the fire alarms. So,
Did that happen with Larry and the Monsters too?
yeah, I had to rip my smoke alarms out of my wall.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And now that I remember, I don't think I put them back. I should probably get on that.
You probably should. I would recommend it.
That was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey, haven't burned down since then.
Now. You know what would have prevented this, Keith? as if you had put your fire alarms back in.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, fire alarms, fog machines,
Yeah.
fucking fog machines, man. If you can get by without them, I highly recommend it. I don't have as terrible of an experience, I guess. I mean, it was bad, but I didn't. I'd still use them. I'm not like Brett. I'm not like, fuck fog machines. I'm never using another one ever again.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're gonna use them in Bone Jackals 2 and 3, so.
Yeah, I mean, you
Right.
kind of have to. I mean,
Yeah.
especially in a horror movie. I mean, if you
Yeah.
don't have the fog effect going on, at least at some point in time,
Yeah.
then it just doesn't look like a horror movie.
Right.
Right.
I'm agreeing with you, damn it.
That would be correct, Keith. You're so goddamn agreeable. There's some bloopers that are actually
Oh,
on
yeah.
the YouTube channel as well. I forgot to mention that. I should have shown some of those. This is one of my favorite ones, actually.
Rolling. Mark. Scene 10, OTS, take 2. Mark.
We do. Get that worked up.
Alright.
You can do it, Hannah.
And action.
Please don't hurt me.
Thank you. I like that.
I'm sorry. You look, your hand just come at me. We're like that round.
And Maggie wins. Movie's over. Those were good.
Irish films,
Yeah.
and back to that's how he goes.
Those were good.
I don't know what Charlie the Unicorn is. I don't know if that pops up on anybody else's, but that's what popped up on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trippin'. I think the trailer actually got more views than the movie itself.
Yeah, well, according to this, yeah. Mine says had like 783 views to opposed to
Mhm.
447 views.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But what do you do?
I don't know.
You go online and you whine about it like the rest of the trolls.
Yeah, and then somebody tells you to shut your face, so guess I'll just shut my face. Take a short walk up a long pier or a long walk up a short. I don't know, man.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh. There were supposed to be follow-ups to Nyar. I had plans for an entire series of 5 movies.
Did you only write the script to one of those though, or did you write to all of them?
I wrote the general outline to the whole thing, and then I wrote one of the scripts, one of the follow-ups.
I know one like Maggie was in like an insane asylum, right?
Yes, well, the rest of the series takes place like 2 or 3 years into the future, and it's at one point Maggie was supposed to be in an insane asylum, but she's supposed to be there of her own free will. Originally she went there because she was trying to get away from Nyar and the rest of the old ones. So it was like in her mind the safest place to be. And so she kind of just wandered around aimlessly. That was another part from the script that didn't get filmed, was that, and I thought about doing it as like a post-credit scene kind of thing where we actually see her get up and leave the house, and then we show her just kind of wandering aimlessly throughout the world, or not really the world, but probably just America.
Or
Until-
Spearfish.
Yeah, or Spearfish, as it probably would have turned out to be. But then she was ultimately supposed to end up in It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, compelling film.
Well, she was supposed to end up in Rhode Island
Uh,
at Miskatonic University.
mhm.
I was going to film Black Hill State University, their big sign and everything, and then digitally impose Miskatonic University over that was my whole plan. But we never filmed that, and I think it got cut out of the script before we ever even got around to casting.
Yeah.
I think I'd cut that out. So, or at the very least, I'd resign myself to not filming it one way or the other. I really wish that we would have. I think that would have been a much cooler way to sort of tie the stories together, but it didn't ultimately matter anyway because we haven't done the follow-ups.
Right.
So having that would have been pointless regardless.
Well, it would have been a nice little Easter egg for Lovecraft fans.
Yeah, it would have been a good one for them. I had also originally had the idea of having it be Nyar that walks up to the school, but I thought it worked better with Maggie. But I maybe one of these days, who knows? The rest of the story actually revolves around Professor Legrasse, not Inspector Legrasse, but Professor Legrasse, who's supposed to be, I think, if I remember right, I wrote him as being the grandson of Inspector Legrasse, who, if you're familiar with the Lovecraft universe, Inspector Legrasse is a character that's popped up in a few different Lovecraftian stories. And I don't remember what happens to him in the Lovecraft universe. I think he's still alive, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was dead. But yeah, it was supposed to be centered around his character, his grandson. And he's more knowledgeable about the book than Maggie was, and Maggie sort of becomes this kind of an anti-hero, I guess. It got really convoluted at one point. Basically, like, Maggie's immortality is a result of Nyar basically copying himself onto her. So she kind of gains his powers because he needs to amplify his own powers. So that's like one of the ways he's doing it is by copying himself onto somebody else, so that there's basically two of him now. And so he can use both of their powers to ultimately what will be locking the galaxy or our solar system. Like, there's this big eclipse where all the planets align all at once, and he needs the power to lock them in place, and that breaks the seal on the old ones, allowing them to step through and reclaim Earth.
Yeah.
Get it?
That shit's complicated, yo.
Well, that's why I was having a hard time explaining it too, because I'm trying to decide, like, what details do I actually want to say? Because I'm not going to say exactly how the whole thing ends, but you know.
Everybody dies, Brian. Just say everybody dies.
Not everybody
We all know
dies.
Everybody's gonna die at the end. So
Not
just say
everybody dies.
it. Most gonna die.
It's not that typical of a Ryan Brewer script.
Would you say 80% of the characters die? 85% maybe? 89? 90? 99?
Kristen asks, what is the best avenue to watch Nyar that sends the most trickle down to you guys? And what are you guys reviewing next time? I'll rock some homework. Ooh. Well, I think the best way for people to watch it would be through YouTube, because that's about the only way to watch it. I thought about putting it on Amazon, but I don't feel like doing the... I don't know. I really don't want to go through the process of creating the
5
captions.
minutes of work it takes to do that. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, because that's the thing with, like, Amazon. Anybody can post a movie to Amazon, Amazon Prime, and, well, almost anybody. But in order to post to Amazon, you have to create captions for the hearing impaired, and which I'm all for. That's great. I mean, I have nothing against that. However, the process of doing this is not fun.
Yeah.
It's very lengthy.
I had to do that for Bone Jangles, and it sucks.
Yes, it's
It
not a
fucking
fun
sucks.
process.
No.
It probably wouldn't be so bad because it's only a 21-minute long movie, but
Right, and your
It's-
characters don't talk nearly as much as the characters in my movies.
yes, I know. There was like the one time that Keith hates his own dialogue is when he has to do the captions for the movie.
Why do these motherfuckers talk so goddamn much?
See, that's the real reason for less is more. It's because the guy who does the captions, he finally complained enough to the right people, to the powers that be, that they're like, all right, we'll stop putting so much dialogue in our movies. Christ, this guy over here doesn't like writing dialogue for deaf people. But yes, going to YouTube is the only way to watch it right now, though. And people watching it more would be amazing. That would be great. Because who knows, if we actually got enough views, then I might consider moving forward with some of the follow-ups. They would be far more complicated, though. Like, the next episode alone takes place mostly at a university, as well as an insane asylum, whereas this one took place in a single location.
That we had easy access to.
Very easy access to. So,
And I ain't paying for the next one.
no. As for what we're going to review next time, what are we going to review next time? What should we review next time?
I don't know. I said we need to do like a live stream commentary on a movie again.
I like that idea. Yes, Keith and I had talked about that before. We've done that before in the past. What movie did we do the last time?
It was that Christmas movie with Shatner, wasn't it? That horror movie.
Oh yeah.
And then we did Sharknado too.
Yes, that's right. We did that.
We're not doing any of the other Sharknado.
Oh, come
right
on.
now. No, fuck
Come
those
on.
movies. Each one worse than the last.
I suppose I don't have my girlfriend here to hound you on that anymore. So that was all her, man.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons you broke up with her. That's what I'm going to go with.
That's so not the reason that we broke up, but that's okay.
That would have been enough for me.
For you, yes, I imagine it would have been. Wow. Boy, it's a good thing she ain't watching anymore.
Yeah, you made good sure of that.
Yeah, we were friends till this came to light. Oh no.
Ruined another relationship.
Yes.
Good job, Keith.
It's what you do. Keith, we've all got to be good at something, right?
Yep.
That's right. Well, I suppose if people don't have any more questions for us, I was really hoping we'd get some more questions. I don't even know if anybody's still watching it on mine. But anyway, whatever Sharknado is sci-fi magic, says Kristen. You know, I dealt cards to him, Ian Ziering.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good for you or bad for him.
I had no idea I was even doing it
Yeah?
at the time. I
Yeah.
was working at the Silverado, and I want to say it was over Raleigh one year. And
That could be.
and he was not happy either, by the way. There's like this huge fiasco about that.
Oh, yeah? Because he realized he was in the Sharknado movies?
I think this was pre-Sharknado movies because he had like a shaved head.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had shaved his head, so he's bald. Didn't have any hair.
Mm.
And so I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't recognize him. That and because my days of watching 90210 ended a lot sooner than everybody else's.
So this was the beginning of his downward spiral that led to him starring in the Sharknado
Probably.
movies? Okay.
I just remember there were a bunch of other people at the table, and I had just got to work, and I think I was the pit boss that night, and we had this huge thing where we couldn't get a fill on the table for whatever reason, and the table was like almost completely emptied of chips, and the previous pit boss did not do anything, and I was really mad. But somehow it came back on me and the dealer, who believe was my buddy Quentin at the time, and he, I don't know, I guess Ziering threw a fit because the game got stalled. He didn't throw a fit to me or anything like that. He knew the general manager and wouldn't complain to him about it. So I didn't hear a word from him. And then it was that's when I found out who it was, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, it's the Ian Ziering from."
Oh, so he didn't do it. Do you know who I am?
Yeah, he didn't.
Do you
Yeah, he
know
didn't
who
do one
I
of
am? He didn't
those.
do that?
Yeah. Although an epic like Bale style meltdown would have made my day, probably my whole life at that point. To have a old Hollywood star just go off Christian Bale style would have been great.
Right.
The fuck are you doing? He was the giant jerk to me. No, not directly to me. Like I said, he complained to the general manager. He had at least enough gall not to say anything directly to me.
Right.
But he didn't really have any good reason to be mad, though, either. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
we couldn't do anything at the time. And like I said, I had just got to work, so I had no idea what was even going on. It was just the previous pit boss didn't fill the table in time before shift change, and so I couldn't get a fill from the cage until they were done. Because they don't keep an impress for whatever reason, or at least they didn't at the time. So that was just kind of just a really bad day, and it was a bad way to start the day too. And he was gone by the time I found out who it was.
I love how this conversation starts. What are we going to review next week?
But you're the one who brought up Sharknado, so I don't even
Well,
want to
then,
hear
yeah,
it.
then I thought it was over, and then it kept on going.
That was you. That was all you, and you should have
Yeah.
known better.
Well, we're still not doing any of the other Sharknadoes.
That's pretty lame as fuck, Kristen says. I agree. It was pretty lame as fuck. I was not happy about it. But I was at least happy that he didn't do the whole "do you know who I am"
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Because then I would have been like, no.
We had a gal where I worked. She pulled the "Do you know who I am" thing, and everyone was like, "No." And it turns out she was on some FX show where she was the host where they would watch movies every week. That was who she was. I can't even remember her name, but that's how famous she was not.
So was she kind of like Joe Bob Briggs in a sense? Is that kind of what the show was supposed to be like?
Basically, I remember what show it was. Her and some guy used to be on MTV, and yeah, they'd host movies on FX every week. And then in between the commercial breaks, they'd like show behind the scenes stuff from the movie they were watching. But I don't know, she was a bitch, so. I say that with no qualms.
No qualms whatsoever. So, the movie that we're going to review next week. First of all, I'm hoping that next week we'll have a guest. I have a couple people.
Well, it's going to be in 2
to
weeks, right? Because we're not doing it next week, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Because it's every
Alright.
other Sunday now.
Because I know you like to change things up on me on the fly and then get mad when I don't know what you're doing, since I don't have a psychic connection with you.
Kristen
So,
says
2 weeks.
she loves how this convo turned. What movie should we review, Kristen? How about you tell us what movie we should review?
So you're the only person who watches these videos, so we're doing it just for you. So
More people watch the videos. There's at least 2 people watching right now.
is one of them you?
No, well, probably. There's 2 people on the Magic Time Films page. I don't know how many people are watching on my page right now. It looks like 0. That sounds about right. But yeah, let's get some suggestions going. What movie should we review? I think doing an actual live watch party
Yeah.
style commentary would be pretty good, actually. And it can be anything, just as long as it's not pornographic.
Well.
Keith.
All right, no porn.
No porn.
Thank God I can watch it anytime I want on the internet.
Oh yeah, that's right. She said the new Jurassic Park flick. She wants us to watch that one. But we can't
Yeah?
do a live. We can't do like a live commentary of that one. We could do like a regular review.
Yeah, we can
Um,
skip maybe.
so we could do that one
Okay.
as this. We could do a short review of that one, but then we can also do a live commentary as well. So that's the other question. What movies should we do a live commentary of?
This will be one we can watch in the comfort of our own home.
Yes, and that everybody could possibly watch along with it. It has to be on Netflix or Hulu.
Hulu,
One of those two, preferably, or Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime,
Yes, but it has
Or
to be
you-
something that's easily accessible, so
or
that other
YouTube.
people can watch it with
YouTube
us.
has a few movies you can watch.
Yeah.
Our
I mean-
movies are on YouTube, Brian.
Yeah. I mean, you can go to YouTube and watch our movies, but we've already done all of ours.
I know. I'm just I said YouTube, and you gave me that look that you always give me when I say something stupid, and then I
Well-
I get that look a lot.
Just stop saying stupid things, and you won't get
I
that.
can't. I can't. Can't help it. Good if I would. Or I would if I could. I don't know words.
Stuff. Yes, he's a writer, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
the English major.
And an English major.
At Black Hill State. That's a ringing endorsement.
Kristen says, I begot homework then. Yes. I don't know what movie we should do, though. There was a few more on Hulu that we had looked at before that we were
Yes.
talking about doing.
Yeah.
And I know there's a few of them on Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
We don't dare do any of the Troma films, not for a live broadcast.
And that rules my movie out too. Then.
Which
Bone
Bone Jangles?
Yeah, we can't really do that on the live broadcast.
We could do a live commentary about Bone Jangles. No, we couldn't do that.
There's some parts that probably
Yeah.
yeah. Some parts I'm very proud of, but we can't actually show.
Yeah, we should probably stay away from anything that might have nudity or
Yeah.
sex, especially since this is going to be broadcasting on Facebook. So that unfortunately makes it extremely limiting, though. So at least in the horror movie department. So I guess it doesn't have to be a horror movie, so to speak, but those
Yeah.
tend to be the most fun.
The worse, the better. As
Yeah.
far as reviewing goes.
Yeah, exactly. We could do Zombievers, but
There's some parts.
yeah, there's parts. So Prime and Netflix. Yes, Kristen, Prime and Netflix. Prime and Netflix especially are the two big ones. Netflix especially because that's the one that tends to be the most broadly subscribed to. And who knows, maybe one of these days one of our movies will be on Netflix.
Well,
I know that's where movies basically go to die, though. so-
yeah, we won't be getting any money if they're ever on Netflix.
Yeah.
Unless Netflix pays us to put.
Oh, she says, hey, that creepy as fuck movie, The Ruins. I've not seen that one.
I've seen that one.
Have you?
It was the one I'm thinking about the killer weeds. And yeah, I've seen that one. There's that
Killer
look
weeds?
again. That's what the movie's about.
No, that wasn't the hey, you're stupid look. Danny Ryan says one of the best horror films I've seen on Netflix yet this far is The Ritual. It was
Yeah.
so good. I have not seen that one either.
I've seen that. That one's really good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good.
No, not The Ruins, is what Kristen says. Well, jeez. No, I got that title wrong. Were you thinking of The Ritual? 'Cause Danny was thinking of The Ritual.
And now Keith and Ryan are thinking of
Now,
it.
is it like a good horror movie though?
Yeah, it is.
The ones with the four guys that go into these crazy woods to pay tribute to their friends.
That's The Ritual.
Oh, okay, so yeah, they are thinking of the same movie.
Yeah.
I suppose Kristen probably isn't seeing Danny's because Danny's commenting on mine.
Oh.
Review that one, The Ritual. That's what we will do.
Okay.
We will do that one. And it's not just going to be a review. It's going to be a live commentary watch party where what we'll do, and I will figure out how to do this. I'll try to figure out how to do this. So, because, yeah, I'd like to be able to do it from the comfort of my own couch. It'll be different. It'll be different how we do this one.
We got 2 weeks to figure it out.
Yes,
so.
2 weeks to figure it out. And that puts us, what is that date? Two weeks from today. Today is the 22nd. So the 5th of August.
Okay.
August
That's
5th.
That's like close to rally time, though. I don't like driving around during rally time. I'm just saying. That's just me.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, you can come and get me then.
Make sure to get popcorn and a blanket, Danny says. Always. Always. I've got my Star Wars blankie that I keep around. Theme it out, Kristen says. We will theme the hell out of it. It's the scariest movie I've seen on Netflix. That's a great movie to do live commentary. Looking forward to it. Well, good. Now I'm getting excited for it now. So Keith and I have another little announcement. Keith probably didn't know I was going to make this announcement, but I'm going to go ahead and make it anyway. We are talking about, discussing, and even doing a tiny bit of planning here and there. We've done some writing on doing a live two-man show that would be a stage show that we would take around, and it would be fairly similar to kind of this, only a little bit more sketched out, comedy sketch kind of thing. But I'm really excited about that, actually. So hopefully we'll have more news about that soon. We're kind of taking our time working on that because it's going to be a work in progress probably for a while. But I'm going to need some things. I'm going to need some help from the old community for the stage show because I want to build not an elaborate set, but a set that fits the show, something that we can easily take with us that's mobile. And we're probably going to be looking to folks that we know to help with finding some of the stuff that I want for it. It's kind of my own little art project right now. But yeah, anyway, there's that, and we'll have more news on that in the future as well. And so August 5th, we will do The Ritual, the live commentary on The Ritual, and I'll figure out how to make that shit work.
All right.
And hopefully we won't get sued. That'll be the big one.
Yeah.
Yes, depending. Anyway, I think that's what we're gonna call that good for tonight. As usual, don't forget, hit us up on Patreon. Definitely hit us up on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. One of these days, I'll actually get around to posting these videos to the YouTube channel. I keep forgetting to actually do that.
Yeah, that was going to be the original idea.
Yes.
Funny how your ideas just kind of just disappear. Just go to the bottom of the list of stuff.
You know what else is going to disappear one of these days?
Oh, please say me. Please God, say.
You are going to disappear one of these days, sir.
When, Ryan? When?
Your day is coming.
I'm ready, Lord. Take me now.
Take me now. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate it. Make sure you turn in August 5th for the next live show, and we will be doing The Ritual. Who knows? I don't know if we'll have a guest or not. We'll see. We might not do a guest if we're going to do The Ritual, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe we can get somebody from The Ritual.
They're all Scottish.
I doubt we could get that. But well, what's that got to do with anything?
Time zones, man.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
There's that look again.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.